You know that feeling when you're scrolling through endless listings, trying to figure out whether a $2,000 pressure washer is really going to make a dent in the grime on your driveway, or if you'll end up with a noisy, fuel-guzzling machine that spends more time in the garage than on the job. I get it. You don't want to throw cash at something that sounds good on paper, but leaves you frustrated on the concrete. That hesitation is real, especially when the stakes are high and the warranty terms are vague. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's break down the NorthStar gas cold water pressure washer, the 5000 psi, 5.0 GPM unit that's built around a Honda GX690 engine. First off, the engine choice is a big part of why many people consider this model. Honda engines are known for being quiet compared to typical gas pressure washer motors, and the electric start though you have to supply your own battery means you're not wrestling with a pull starter after a long day of cleaning. That alone can be a deal breaker for anyone who's not comfortable with a heavy-duty recoil cord. The pump is a Comet belt drive Triplex plunger, which is a step up from the cheaper single-piston designs you see on budget units. In practice, that translates to smoother pressure delivery and less heat buildup during long sessions. I've seen a few crews on construction sites run that pump for an hour straight without the motor feeling like it's about to overheat, which is a comfort factor if you're cleaning large areas like a commercial parking lot or a fleet of service vehicles. Now, let's talk about the chassis. NorthStar went with a full roll cage design made from 13/8" steel tubing, and the whole thing rides on 15-inch flat-free tires. Those tires aren't just for show, they actually absorb bumps when you're moving across uneven terrain, and because they're solid rubber, you don't have to worry about punctures or frequent pressure checks. That's a real advantage if you're a landscaper who needs to haul the washer from a job site to a job site, or a homeowner who wants to pull it out of the garage and onto a gravel driveway without fearing a flat. The 11-gallon fuel tank is another practical point. Many pressure washers in this power range come with a 5 or 6-gallon tank, meaning you're forced to stop every 15-20 minutes to refuel. With 11 gallons, you can realistically knock out a full-size driveway, a deck, and a few sidewalks before the tank runs low. That longer runtime is where the value beyond the headline specs really shows up. It reduces the downtime that eats into your productivity. Who should actually consider buying this machine? If you're a serious DIYer who tackles big outdoor projects a few times a year, think stripping paint from a siding, cleaning oil stains from a driveway, or prepping a patio for sealant, you'll appreciate the combination of high pressure, decent flow, and the reliability of a Honda engine. It also makes sense for small to medium service businesses that need a portable, yet powerful, cleaner, but can't justify the capital expense of a commercial-grade unit. The roll cage and solid tires mean you can move it around a job site without a trailer, and the fuel capacity keeps you working longer between fills. On the flip side, you might want to skip this washer if you're just looking for a weekend-only tool to clean a car or a small patio. The 5000 psi is overkill for light cleaning, and the initial cost could be better allocated toward a lower-pressure electric model that's easier to store and doesn't require gasoline handling. Also, if you're not comfortable with maintaining a gas engine, checking oil levels, mixing fuel, and eventually dealing with spark plug, where you'll likely end up spending more time on upkeep than on actual cleaning. Let's get into some practical strengths you'll notice right out of the box. The first is the quiet operation. In my experience, a typical gas pressure washer will scream like a leaf blower at full throttle, which can be a nuisance in residential neighborhoods. The Honda engine here stays relatively low-key, which is a blessing when you're cleaning a neighbor's fence early in the morning. Second, the belt drive pump reduces vibration, so the whole unit feels more stable when you're guiding the wand. That steadiness helps you keep a consistent spray pattern, especially when you're trying to rinse away stubborn rust on a metal railing. Third, the large fuel tank and the efficient pump mean you can spend more time actually washing and less time refilling or letting the machine cool down. Now for the practical weaknesses. The biggest annoyance is the missing battery for the electric start. NorthStar assumes you'll have a spare 12-volt battery on hand, but if you don't, you're back to a manual pull starter, which can be a pain, especially after the engine is hot. Another point is the weight. With the steel roll cage, a full fuel tank, and a hefty pump,